Hello everybody, this is Jack and welcome to my Terrablox Devblog video. Last 2 weeks were pretty slow going, but this week I've been working really hard to get a lot of new stuff to show you, and I'll just point it out as we go through the different bits. Hope you enjoy it. So, as you'll see, this isn't important but I'll just show it anyway. I've greyed out the buttons that aren't going to be available at the start, just to make it clear. Not confuse people, same with those things. And here we go. I've left the music on, by the way, because I'm supposed to get new music in, but yeah, it didn't get done. So I'll just play this one over it. So obviously, you can probably hear footsteps. So little guy makes some noise now, and that happens on these blocks as well. And placing them. And let's point out the new trees. So these are trees that I've made a modeler, so you can model trees in a different program, and it will include them in a list that basically just runs through the generation, and it will just spawn them by itself. So these are two that I made. So yeah, I made them. They're programmer trees, so they're probably not the best, but they're not too bad. And I might show you the editor as well, I don't know. I like these ones because I left them open in the middle on purpose, so you could build like a little tree house or something. Really difficult to look in there. So with the sounds, there's more sounds I need to put in. Like, it needs some better management because it doesn't fade in or fade out. It just sort of starts and stops. And he needs sounds for like when he lands, when he jumps, and possibly like when walking across different terrain, but I think that's a much later feature. And when he goes in water, it still plays the sound, which is weird. So, and other things I've done here is, like I said before, these things. Hold on, what was it? It was that. Oh, and the pumpkin. There we go. So, yeah, when you place things like flowers and grass, they sway. And I said before that it's a bit weird that pumpkins and saplings do it. So, there's a new type now where you can just make these things that don't sway. Although that's a bit glitchy, there's an alpha problem. And saplings. There we go. So yeah, they're all good now. And nope, that's all of it. So I can get up here and have a look at these trees. Okay, it doesn't really work, does it, because of the view distance? But yeah, they still cast like big shadows, and it's sort of given it this much sort of denser forest feeling, which I quite like. So I was just looking at my list then. I've just mentioned everything I've pretty much done. But no, I haven't really. There are other things that I haven't written down, so I'll just throw you over to some other stuff. So these other things that I wanted to show you are actually just post-processing shaders. So these are basically after the whole game's been rendered. So, and you're stuck with like an image, and you do effects on that. So things that you've seen before, like these waving grass and the curvature stuff, that's non-process whatever processing shaders. Those are actually done on the geometry in, you know, when the model's being drawn. So after all that's been drawn to a screen, we can do an effect on that screen. And the first one I'm going to show you is radial blur. So this will be used in a way like, so when you're running forward, it will look like the world's rushing past you. Now, for the purposes of this video, I've exaggerated it, but I'll just show you it straight up. So it does look like you're going faster. It's kind of nice. At the moment, it's just on and off. There's no sort of gradual build in or build out of it. There will be, just needs more work, you know, attaching variables to that. So it will be that when you'll start off walking slowly and it will build up and, you know, turn it into this. But it's quite nice, it sort of breaks it up and gives it a nice little effect. I've been trying to find some sort of post-processing effects I can do just for, you know, generally, like some sort of anti-aliasing, but yeah, it'll just make the edges look smoother and stuff like that. Because at the moment it does look, I mean, you don't see it in the video, but it does look a bit pixely now and then. It's not too bad, but you know, if you can get rid of it, might as well. So this was radial blur. I think I've got a couple more. Okay, this is a pretty weird one. This is called a fisheye effect, and basically it just takes this circular area, well, elliptical area of your screen and distorts the image into it. Yeah, I don't know what practical uses was having game. Mainly because it cuts off the edges of the screen. It's sort of an on-off thing. You can't really fade into it. I did try looking for a rectangular one, but I couldn't find one that I could implement. But you know, if you were to be able to play as like an insect or something, this would be a good mode. Or you know, if you could, I don't know, fly around in a plane or something. I don't know, you'd have a camera that looks like that. I don't know, it's quite a nice effect, even if it's unpractical. But yeah, that basically sums up post-processing effects though. I mean, these are just simple ones that don't require too much effort to put in. So weird stuff like that can be done quite easily. And I'm looking into more like complicated things that require several render passes and stuff like that. Because you can get quite a lot out of them if you put a bit more effort into it. But yeah, that's what I've got so far with this stuff. Okay, so this is a simple one. It's I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but vignette shader and well effect, and basically it just adds these dark gradients around the edge of your screen. So gives it a little bit more depth. At least that's its intended use. I think the game's a bit too bright for it to work, but you know, you could use it sparingly in just certain situations. Like at night time it would work, or in duller conditions. In daytime you'd probably just do some sort of glow effect, I don't know. I don't know, there'd probably be lots of... Actually yeah, that's what we need to add here. So things like having a sun and having lens flare and god rays and stuff like that, that's all shader stuff. So maybe I'll be able to show that off eventually. I've already thought about doing it, but it's, you know, priorities. It's not going to make a massive difference to the game, so, you know, just left it out. But, yeah, that's a few shaders. Right, so I'm going to try and do a bit of a demonstration now to show how you can, when you're making your own texture packs, you can quickly load them and view them in the game without having to exit and all that stuff. So it's just a little quick debug feature I added. So let's leave that. What am I doing? Run the game. Tra-la-la. Okay, so we're in windowed mode now. And once we're in and walking about, so let's just place some blocks, some different things that we don't usually use. This is another thing I need to fix as well, by the way. You know, not using the correct icons and stuff. These aren't all representative of the actual object. So let's put some of these up. So you can see that was nothing like its icon. Okay, so there's some stuff. And if we go into that mode and then go to our image editor, let's just, oh I know, let's invert colours, that's an interesting one. Okay, save that, yep, whatever, and then go back to the game, and if we press F1, okay, not F1, F2, then it just reloaded our texture pack that we just saved. So now we've got this really weird, tripping sort of texture pack. It's Candy Floss Land with lemonade water. I actually quite like it. So yeah, that's just why we can just put that back and then draw some scribbles on it or something. Save it, go back in, F2, and yeah, it's all there. So this is just a quick way of, you know, if you want to make a texture pack and stuff like that, you can just quickly do it in a different editor in windowed mode and load it straight in. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And we've got 3 mobs of the week this week to make up for lack of mobs of week in the previous weeks. So yeah, this one is called Shadow Scorp, and basically we've moved into concepting mobs for different sort of biomes and regions, and I think the focus this time was deserts. And Shadow Scorp actually demos quite well what, you know, the whole point of modeling stuff on planes like this is that to make a claw, it's just a flat normal plane, but you've cut out the actual pixels there on the actual texture, so you can sort of fake your geometry this way, and it works quite well. Otherwise, he's pretty much like the spider in appearance, with the addition of this tail, stinger tail. And yeah, so yeah, it wouldn't be too difficult to model your own sort of mobs like this off backs of like things like the spider and stuff like that. And the next mob we've got is Vulture. I think that's meant to be a vulture. You wouldn't guess these Pokemon style names. So this one has wings and this weird sort of spine neck. Don't know how I would animate that, but these are challenge. Like, we haven't added any mobs in yet, so I don't know. The whole animation system is something that I haven't looked into yet, and so it really remains to be seen. But this stuff will be possible, you know, if we've concepted it, it'll happen, basically. And oh, hello, look at this. Drags your character up and drops you when you're high. Even though vultures only go after corpses, they're scavengers. And now, you remember I showed you ages ago the desert as a concept map I made, and I was talking about giant worms that sort of burrow into the ground and come out and sort of try and kill you. This is meant to be that. So it doesn't look big here, but in game it would, like, this head alone would be like, I don't know, like 6 by 6 by 6 blocks or something. It would be huge. So yeah, it would burrow and dig quite big tunnels into the ground. And so yeah, basically that says it all. It could devour you. It could eat you whole, basically. Maybe I would have it do that. I don't know. I mean, it would be an incentive to stay the hell away from the desert. Damage immunity and health regen. That doesn't make any sense. How can he regen health if you can never take it away from him? I don't know. I don't make this stuff. Anyway, so yeah, seeing something like that in game would be quite cool. I mean, it would be a while because you need huge maps just to, you know, accommodate the thing because it's so big. So anyway, yeah, that's the 3 mobs of the week. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I'm finishing on this splash again because I quite like it, and hopefully we'll have a new splash next week, a new concept map imagey thing, so that'll be cool. And I will actually, like, the mobs of the week stuff, all the mob cards and stuff like that, I'll put them on the website because, you know, they're sort of 1080 HD things, might as well have them as wallpapers and stuff. So if you like any of them, you can grab them. Next week, I don't know what I'll be working on. I mean, the stuff I've done this week was just to make up for boring stuff. I don't know. I'll probably do a few more things with the tree modeler, as well as maybe releasing it soon, because that would be good to get some community trees and stuff like that put into it. And it could do more than trees. I mean, it could do, any sort of blocks. Like you could do rock formations, houses. The only problems with those at the moment is that because trees only have like one tile at the base, it only checks for one tile when looking for a place to generate. So it doesn't know if it's on the edge of a hill or something. So if you built a house and it tried to generate it somewhere, it could be hanging off the edge of a cliff for all it knows. So, when it comes to putting stuff like that in there, it's a bit dodgy at the moment. But things like this rock formation, things like that could be done and put in the generator. Even, actually, yeah, I need to put cactuses in there. Actually, one thing I might do is biomes. Maybe just like small biomes, like a little patch of desert here, or like a band of trees, like a belt of trees, rather than having them everywhere. You could just have them in regions, and just tiny things like that. But it would be a good way to sort of separate, his rock formations, here's a forest, here's a desert, and you could just sort of just see those things. I know Daddio wants me to put in, like the artist wants me to put in things for trees, because in the forest concept they have like, instead of whole blocks they have like tubular bits, and I kind of want to put those in because they'll just make it like that much more unique in style, and I think that's an important thing. Now it's getting further and further along, and it's starting to look unique. So yeah, stuff like that would be nice. Yeah, other than that, I'm just polishing it up because, like I said before, I want a demo. I want, like, not, well, I say demo, first release, alpha, whatever. I want it released this month, so ideally before Christmas. So yeah, this month, get that out and update it, hopefully once a week. Really remains to be seen. It depends if it's an emergency or if it's a big, small feature or whatever. So yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, so if you enjoyed watching this video, I'd appreciate it if you come join the forums, voice your opinions, and if you think I've done something wrong, you can shout at me and I'll ignore you. It's all good. Yeah, I just like, I need feedback because it helps shape the game, and it's just helpful. So if you want to come join the forums, go to www.terrablox.com and you can get to the forums from there, as well as look at other stuff, including following this like Devblog series. So yeah, hope you enjoyed watching this video, and farewell.